Hello there and welcome to PS4 Fun. And the conversation for today is gameplay over graphics. There seems to be in game development now an absolute lust for photorealistic, gorgeous graphics. We have games like Horizon Zero Dawn, Hellblade and Uncharted series that push the limits of photorealism and motion capture in games. But good graphics does not necessarily mean a great game. And oh yes, I am looking at you here. Order 1886, magnificent moustaches and crap werewolf fights. So here are 7 games that I really love to play that aren't trying to look gorgeous, aren't trying to break boundaries in terms of photorealistic graphics, but are just bloody good fun to play. First up, we have Dear Sir, the Insult Simulator. This is a fabulous little game and a slightly naughty game that is basically Tekken, but with insults. You have different characters with different strengths and weaknesses. You have health bars, and those health bars are depleted by giving a better insult than your competitor. It can be played against an NPC, just against the PlayStation, or you can play it against a friend sitting next to you on the couch. It is utterly hilarious and absolutely brilliant. I mean, the story mode's final battle is against God doing an impersonation of Morgan Freeman. It is insane. Also, if you are a fan of Monty Python's Flying Circus, it has a huge number of inspirations. This particular scene you're watching now is based around the Norwegian blue parrot from the very, very famous parrot sketch of Michael Palin and John Cleese. You even get a trophy for including the insult, "Your mother was a hamster and your father smelt of elderberries." I'm not going to do the French accent that John Cleese did for that one. If you don't get that reference, just Google it. It's from Monty Python and the Holy Grail, and it is absolutely stupid. So this is a fabulous little game, only to play for, 20-30 minutes at a time perhaps, but best played sitting next to your mate on the couch, as you call them smelly and they smell like cheese and their mother had an affair with a cockroach. It's absolutely brilliant. It's worth your time. Check it out. Very enjoyable, very good fun. Next up, Rebel Galaxy. This was given away on PS Plus, I think around about the same time as No Man's Sky launched last year. And actually, it's a much better space exploration game than its overly hyped competitor. You're a space trader. Warrior, pirate, bounty hunter, I mean, it's your choice. Very much like Elite Dangerous, you can forge your own path. You're cruising through space, trying to turn a profit and to solve the mystery of what happened to your mum. The combat is quite similar to kind of the Assassin's Creed ship battles. It's all broadsides, so it's all about positioning. And it's all done across a horizontal plane, so there's no up and down, it's all rotational. The battles are quite frenetic, but they are fun. You can buy new ships, you can upgrade the weapons, you can hire fighters to follow you around and help. You can join factions, you can annoy factions, you can complete quests and become a real space badass. I mean, this is a really, really, really good spacefaring game. It's got complex mechanics and a lot of interesting things to do. Might well be worth engaging a warp drive for. It's also got an absolutely rocking soundtrack. Just have a quick listen to this. SteamWorld Heist was number 4 in my top 5 games of 2016. It is a space robot cowboy turn-based strategy role-playing game, and is an awful lot cooler than that sounds. You travel through space, fighting a threat to space robot civilization. Characters have different abilities, cover is a significant tactical consideration, and there is an absolutely brilliant bullet rebound mechanic that allows you to pull off some truly awesome takedowns. You can also shoot off enemies' hats and collect them, so what's not to love about that? And it's all wrapped up in a charming story with fun and engaging characters and difficult but rewarding gameplay. I mean, strategy role-playing games is pretty much my favourite gaming genre, and it does actually sit there with the best of them. Seriously, so grab your Robo Stetson and 6-shooter and scrap some metal ass. So now we have Thomas was alone. And in the argument of graphics versus gameplay, I mean, this game really does not impress from a graphical standpoint compared to other things. Graphically, it does exactly what it needs to do, and there are some nice things, like as you're moving the characters around, how the shadows move around them. But it really doesn't matter. I mean, Mike Bethel's charming game is about moving squares and rectangles and other geometric shapes through 2D puzzles. You know, I hear you cry. However, if you bear with it, it's an utterly beguiling game that challenges you mentally and engages with you emotionally. The game gives you little geometric characters who have different skills and abilities that you must bring together to solve some fiendish puzzles. Some can float, some jump higher than others, some are bouncy, some are smaller, can slip through tiny spaces. The brilliance of the game is not about the puzzles, which are incredibly clever, but the narration by Danny Wallace. His commentary imbues your blocky protagonist with such incredible character, giving them motivation and reason. There are petty rivalries, budding romances, all given life without faces, features, or complex animations. It's a real testament to the design and scripting of the game that such a simple design can be so affecting. It's available on PlayStation 4 as well as Vita, so get this game if you're looking for a mental challenge as well as laughing and crying along with your four-cornered friends. Okay, now we have Wasteland II Director's Cut. Now, this is a new purchase for me. I've had it for about a month. I'd heard good things about it, and I saw it on PSN for about £8, so I grabbed it. It's a port from a crowdfunded PC game based in the original Fallout universe. You, at the beginning, create a party of 4 Wasteland Rangers, and you can meet 3 others, or up to, well, there is a whole roster of them, but you can take another 3 along with you, so the maximum party size is 7. It's another turn-based SRPG that's all about positioning, understanding strengths and weaknesses of weapons, and choosing the right skills. And there are a lot of skills. Choosing, managing and leveling them is a game in and of itself, either improving combat skills, knowledge skills like safe cracking, special skills like animal whispering. You can also unlock perks which can have a significant impact on how the game plays out. I mean, it isn't all shooting though. You can talk your way out of trouble, reprogram robots to fight for you, and complete a number of quests that are varied and interesting. It's also got a sense of humour as well. Now, it is quite funny. Some of the characters are quite funny, some of the situations are quite funny, so it's not all doom, gloom and seriousness. One word of warning though, it does contain without a doubt one of the worst voice acting performances ever. A character called Vulture's Cry, a Native American Indian. The voice acting is truly awful. She's worth having along with you because she's a superb sniper and can charm animals, but otherwise you don't want to listen to a dialogue too hard. It is not great. But it is a big game with a lot to do. And I think if you like RPGs, it's absolutely worth a punt. Okay, so Don't Starve is one of my favourite PlayStation 4 games across the board. It was my first video that I uploaded to this channel when it was still PS4, and it was the Canadian lumberjack who turns into a werewolf, not a werewolf, sorry, a werebeaver at full moon. But it is a fiendishly difficult survival game, all dressed up in this lovely cartoon frolic. You play as various different characters, and again with different abilities, and you're dumped in a randomly generated world with no tutorial and no clue. You have to figure everything out for yourself, and you will die a lot. Repeated deaths in games can be frustrating, but not so Don't Starve, because each death is a learning experience. Eventually, after horrific burnings and eviscerations and famine ending your pathetic, squishy life, you find that you have a farm and armour and weapons and a fridge. Expansions have added new worlds with new challenges and also a co-op mode you can play with your friends on your sofa. Its external charm hides a hardcore game that rewards experimentation and nerve with real payoffs. If you're easily frustrated, this really is not the game for you. But if you like a challenge with a sense of humour, you really can't go wrong with Don't Starve. So lastly, we arrive at Valiant Hearts, which is actually one of my all-time favourite games. Whereas the others on this list are generally indie titles, Valiant Hearts was made by Ubisoft. However, the game is not typical of Ubisoft series or Ubisoft general epics. This tells the story of 4 individuals and their experiences of the First World War. A farmer, his son-in-law, a Belgian medic, and an American soldier. There's also a really cool dog called Walt that engages with the characters as well. Ostensibly, it is a 2D puzzle game, but it is so much more than that. It was created with input from 2 educational and historical societies and is a powerful exploration of the futility of war and its human cost. Now, no, this is not as fun as the others, but it's a game that puts storytelling, communication, and insight front and centre over photorealistic character models. It is moving as well as challenging and has an utterly devastating but entirely appropriate ending. This game, in my opinion, should be part of a school history lesson, as its attention to detail and historical accuracy are commendable. It's not a game for those who want to shoot swathes of enemies, but for those who want a game that challenges the mind and emotion, as well as actually teaching you something valuable, then this is definitely a game for you. Also, if you're interested, there is a full playthrough of this game on my channel. I'll put a link to that in the description of this video. So in summary, we all love gorgeous looking games, but I started playing games in 1979. That was Space Invaders on an arcade machine. And I've been through console and computer iterations from the ZX81 to the Atari ST, all the way through the PlayStation family, now to the PlayStation 4. The games I always remembered and look back on fondly are not the pretty ones, but the ones that were fun and challenging to play. Little gems of games that are fun and engaging are often more value for money than their big brothers. My view is that so-called AAA games have a lot to learn from the indie community, where innovation is more important than looking pretty. Thank you very much for listening. I hope you found this enjoyable. Please check out all of the games and let me know what you think of them in the comments. Also, add in the comments any of these lovely little gems that you think people should have a look at that are not necessarily pretty, but absolutely brilliant. Subscribe to the channel, share on social networks, and as always, have a fantastic gaming week, and I'll catch you next time. Bye-bye for now.